So in previous lecture we have finished with the theory of HMO. Now we will start with its application parts. So first is the application of this HMO theory to the simple pi system like ethylene, propylene or 1,3-butadiene. And lastly we will try to see the application of this HMO theory to the benzene. Okay, so once we have like started to move from ethylene to like higher molecules or the higher unsaturated molecules, will like come across some term mathematical treatment. Okay, so there we need to solve some determinant and some equations, and we need to substitute certain values. Okay? So in order to solve this whole determinant and all the equations, you have to like practice like quite a certain equations and simplification process. So how to solve that 2 by 2 determinant, 3 by 2 determinants. Okay, so all these things and multiplication of determinants. Okay, all these things I will tell here, but you need to again practice that. Okay, so that it can be get more clear to you. So let us start with the first example, that is the ethylene molecule. So in our syllabus we are having three molecules, that is ethylene, 1,3-butadiene, and last one is the benzene. Okay, so we are expected to like derive the wave equation for all these three molecules and the energy diagrams for that three molecules. But again we will see one extra molecule, that is propylene system or the allylic system. Okay, so allylic system is quite important for the like competitive exam point of view also. Okay, sometimes question might be asked based upon the various systems, so you should be able to like find out the like wave equation for that. And also this ethylene 1,3-butadiene. Okay, we know that ethylene is having 2 carbon atom, 1,3-butadiene having 4 carbon atoms, and benzene ring is having how much? 6 carbon atoms. So all of these three systems are of what? Even carbon atom system. So in order to have the some knowledge of about odd system, we also try to see the propylene or allylic system. Okay, so we'll start with the ethylene system first. So first of all, the first step is to write down the skeletal structure for the given molecule. Okay, so for ethylene, what is the skeletal structure? So skeletal structure is like without the hydrogen and the unsaturated bonds. So simply we need to write out the how that molecule might be look in the carbon carbon bonding. Okay, so we'll just write the carbon bonding. So it is C1 and C2. Hence the pi molecular orbital or HMO, which can be written as the linear combination of what? P orbital of this and this carbon atom. So in total there are how many carbon atoms are there? 2 carbon atoms. So for each carbon atom we'll be considering its pz orbital, pz atomic orbital. So by the linear combination of first and second pz orbitals, we can write down the wave equation as psi is the wave equation, which is the linear combination of what? P1 and P2. So we can write down it as the psi is equals to A1 P1 plus A2 P2, and this A1 and A2 are the coefficient which we need to find out. Okay, so where P1 and P2 are the pz atomic orbitals which are associated with the carbon atom C1 and C2 respectively. So treating the molecule in the plane xy. Okay, we have seen in this in the assumption that this pz orbital is taken as the perpendicular to the molecular orbital or the molecular plane. So molecular plane is nothing but xy plane. Okay, so for this type of system, the Huckel determinant is what? Like we have seen previously also, H11 minus ES. Okay, the determinant consisting of what? 4 terms should be there, and this ethylene system containing total 2 carbon atoms. Okay, 2 carbon atoms, so determinant should be 2 by 2. Okay, determinant is 2 by 2 matrix, this Huckel determinant. So this is what? H11 minus ES11, here H12 minus ES12, here is what? H21 minus ES21, and last is the H22 minus ES22. Okay, so what is the value of H11? H11 is alpha. Okay, minus E into S11 is what? S11 which is overlap integral which is 1. Now next H12 is what? H12 is equals to beta if the first and second carbon atoms are adjacent to each other, and if it is equals to 0 when the carbon atoms are not adjacent or the not the neighbor of each other. So here in this case of ethylene, this H1 and 2 means carbon 1 and 2 are in the adjacent with each other, so this H12 value comes out to be the beta. And what is the value of S12? S12 overlap integral is equals to 0 because this S11 or S22, S33 that values are only equals to 1, otherwise all the values are equals to 0. So if we solve the determinant, we get the Huckel determinant of the alpha minus E beta into alpha minus E. Okay, so this is the determinant that we can obtain by using Huckel equations. Now next we need to substitute this alpha minus E upon beta as x. So here we can see this is the common step. Okay, so these steps we will do for all the molecules as well as for the theory part also. Okay, so once we have get clear idea about which steps and the number of steps that we are going to perform, we can easily find out the wave equation for any molecule. Okay, any molecule. So this is the x which we have substituted for what? Alpha minus E upon beta. Okay, alpha minus E upon beta. Similarly here we can obtain the energy equation, like what is the value of E? So energy equation E is equals to, what is that? Alpha minus beta x. Okay, so this is the expression for energy of a given orbital. So energy of a given orbital is depending upon what? The value of x. Okay, the value of x. So how will you solve this 2 by 2 determinant? So in order to solve this 2 by 2 determinant, we just need to multiply by these terms. Okay, so cross multiplication should be done likewise. Okay, so we'll get x square minus 1 which is equals to 0. So what is the roots of this equation? The roots of these equations are x is equals to plus or minus 1. Okay, now there are two roots. Okay, because this is the second order equation, so we have to get the two roots, and we have got that two roots as a plus 1 and minus 1. Now for the value of x is equals to minus 1, we know that this value is corresponds to what? Bonding molecular orbital, and for plus 1 this is corresponds to the anti-bonding molecular orbital. So we need to find out the energies. This energy equation was what? Alpha minus beta x. So you just simply substitute the value of x. Suppose my first value is x is equals to minus 1, then my first energy is what? Alpha plus beta, and we all know that this alpha is corresponds to what? The energy of electron in the molecule of a that ethylene or any molecule, and this alpha is specifically the energy of electron present in the pz orbital. Okay, pz orbital. So this energy is negative. Also this beta is what? This beta is the energy of electron in the that pi molecular orbital. So this energy is also negative. So if we add the two negative term, you will get the answer as a negative only. So this is the stabilization energy, or this is the bonding molecular orbital energy. What about next energy level, that is E2? So E2 can be obtained by what? By simply putting x is equals to plus 1. Okay, if we put this value for x, we will get the energy term, that is E2 as alpha minus beta. So if we plot the energy profile diagram, this E1 is what? Energy of a ground state. This E2 is the energy of excited state, because this alpha and beta values are negative. So if we add two negative values, we get the lower values, and lower values are corresponds to what? The ground state energy levels. Okay, so this is the energy level. Now next term is the pi bond energy. Okay, so in order to find out the pi bond energy, first of all we need to draw this energy profile diagram for the given molecule. Then next we need to fill the electrons. Okay, we need to fill the electrons based upon the that various laws of the electron filling. Okay, Pauli's law of exclusion principle, or the law of maximum multiplicity. Okay, Kel's law of that of maximum multiplicity. Okay, and all that things. So based upon this, here are the what? There is one orbital, here is another orbital having the two different energies. So the electron will first fill here, and then next it will be paired up because this is the lower energy orbital. So for ethylene there are two pi orbitals, along with that two pi electrons are there, one from each carbon. So first this electron will fill on these two orbitals, okay, this first orbital. So this is the bonding molecular orbital, okay. So in order to find out the pi bond energy, we need to find out the how many electrons are there in the ground state, and we just need to compare that energy with the free electrons, okay, with the free electrons. So suppose for the ethylene molecule there are the 2 pi electrons in the ethylene molecules which are in the ground energy state with the total energy of what, 2 times alpha plus beta, because the energy of one electron would be alpha plus beta, and for 2 electrons it should be 2 times the alpha into beta. So in absence of bonding, means suppose electron is being present wholly on the single carbon, then the total energy of that electron which lying on the pz orbital would be what, 2 times the alpha, okay. For one carbon it is alpha, so for another it is another alpha, so total it is 2 alpha. So the pi bond energy is simply the subtraction of actual energy minus free electron energy if it is present in the free carbon atom, okay. So the pi bond energies comes out to be what, 2 beta, okay. The pi bond energies comes out to be the 2 beta, okay. So given the pi bond energy in the ethylene molecule, now next term is the how to find out the coefficient of HMO orbitals, okay. So in order to find out the coefficient of HMO orbital, we need to solve the matrix multiplication, okay. So what matrix we have got for the ethylene molecule, it is what was that matrix, x1 1 x. This is the matrix we have obtained here, okay. So matrix is what, x1 1 x. Then in order to find out the coefficient, we just need to have the multiplication of another matrix which is what, two coefficients are there, a1 and a2, this all is equals to 0, okay. So in order to find out the coefficient of this wave equation, we have to find out the matrix multiplication. So how will you do that matrix multiplication, x1 1 x into what, a1 a2 is equals to 0. So how will you do the multiplication? So in order to do the multiplication, this order should be equals to, these two orders should be equals to each other, okay. So then only we can do the matrix multiplication. So first term will be what, we do the matrix multiplication likewise, okay. Okay, here you will try to see the detail procedure. So first this term, that is x into a1 plus 1 into a2, that is what, a1x plus a2, this is the first term. Now for second, we go this row by this column, okay. So that is a1 plus a2x, a1 plus a2x. So this is the equation that we have obtained for matrix multiplication. Now there are two values for x, so if you put the bonding energy level, that is x is equals to -1, we will get a1 is equals to a2, okay. These two coefficients are comes out to be equal, okay. And also from the normalization condition, we know that one another condition is there, that is the coefficient square for the given wave equation r comes out to be 1. So by normalization condition, this a1 square plus a2 square is equals to 1, hence this a1 should be equals to a2, which is equals to what, 1 upon root 2. If you solve this equation, you will get a1 which is equals to a2, which is comes out to be 1 upon root 2. So here we see that the contribution of both p orbital is equal or same, okay. The contribution of both p orbital is same, which is what, 1 upon root 2, okay. Now similarly for the anti-bonding energy orbital, the x value is what, +1. So simply we have just put that value as x is equals to +1. Then we try to find out the value of a1 and a2, which is comes out to be what, A1 is equals to minus of A2, means for A1 we get the opposite value for the A2. Okay, so A1 which is equals to minus of A2. So A1 and A2 is equals to what? 1 upon root 2, but the sign for A2 is different, means minus. So if you want to plot this graph of this wave equation as a function of this radial distance, then the HMO function for psi 1 and psi 2, which may be plotted against various distance from the fixed direction, that is say along the molecular axis. The function psi 1 will, like we see in this, okay, graphs. Initially the function psi 1 will reaches to a maxima, and it will reach to maxima at C1. Okay, and what is that maximum point? It is 1 upon root 2. Then again it will try to like decrease, and again it will try to increase at the point C2, means this C1 and C2 are the center of that carbon atom centers. Okay, C1 and C2. So at carbon 1 and carbon 2 will find the maxima, and the maximum point is at what? 1 upon under root of 2. Okay, now for this is for psi 1 which is bonding molecular orbital. So this is the bonding molecular orbital. So for psi 2, which is the what? Anti-bonding molecular orbital, initially the value is increasing up to this point, where this point is what? Again C1, and it will sharply decreases and reaches to the negative value. Okay, negative value, we see this in the wave equation also. This P2 is having what? Opposite sign as that of the P1. So for the second carbon atom, the wave equation turns its sign to the negative, and finally we get the change in sign. Okay, change in sign. So if you want to plot the three-dimensional shape of the given orbitals, we can say that this positive or negative sign, okay, here this positive and negative sign only indicate the probability. Okay, probability is maximum, probability is minimum. Okay, so if there is a positive sign, means simply there is a maximum probability of finding the given electron, and negative sign is indicating the minimum probability. Okay, so there is no as such possibility of positive wave function or negative wave functions. Okay, or the electron density, which is what? Always positive one. So this sign representation is only for the its okay manner in which these molecular orbitals can be represented. Okay. So for positive direction, or the for psi 1, we get what? Maximum wave function or the maximum probability at one point only, and zero probability at the another point. Okay, so this orbital is simply called as a, okay, psi 1 orbital, which is also called as a, okay, un-Girard orbital. Okay, now next, this is the symmetric orbital psi 2. Why is it symmetric? Because it contains one nodal plane, and here it is the probability is maximum. Okay, here we can see this. Simply we can plot three-dimensional. Here probability is maximum, here it is minimum, again here it is minimum, and here it is maximum. So this is what we have plotted here. Okay, so the probability is maximum here and here. This is the nodal plane. Okay, because it is separating the two maximum probability, and there is a sign change for the given wave equation. Okay, so this, if we like draw a diagonal, or they draw a line which will passes through this center of the gravity of a given orbital, and if it reaches to the same sign, then we say that this orbital is being symmetric or Girard, and this orbital is what? Antisymmetric, or it is also called as un-Girard. Okay, so these terms are like quite familiar in the group theory. Okay, so this is also quite application of this HMO theory. We can be able to find out the this Girard and un-Girard nature of the given orbital also. So this is the first system, which is ethylene system. Okay, ethylene system. So in this system we have tried to find out the first the Huckel determinant, then next we have tried to obtain the wave equations that we can find out by using the matrix multiplication. Next we have tried to find out that x values by solving that equations, and then simply put that equation in the energy values, we find out the energy, and lastly we have tried to obtain the wave equations and plotted that as the graphical representation for the given wave equations. Okay, so this is the simple procedure that we are going to follow for all the molecules. Okay, so same type of procedure can be applied for the 1,3-butadiene as well as benzene. Okay.